Welcome to On the Way to School, your 6-minute daily boost for educators and administrators. I'm Christopher S. Dennis, and today, let's elevate our journey together. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to On the Way to School. It's been a minute because, school year is off to a really good start. On my side of things, I've got 2 high school boys, my 2 youngest kids, a 9th and 11th grader, and we've got one running cross country. We've got one doing off-season basketball, and the schedules with the heat kind of put us out of our normal sync. So recording had to get put on the bottom of the list. But here we are, back. I'm going to try to close out the week with you. It's been a ride, folks. It's been a ride. It's been a week full of, reconnecting, catching up, just getting back to basics, making sure my team is getting what they need from me, but also trying to be present for some of the big initiatives that are on my plate, but also finding time for community and just different things that are out there. So, I had a chance to do our morning carpool this week, which is, you greet the families and the kids coming off the, out of their cars. Just some really decent stuff. Had a good meal with a colleague yesterday who was just expressing like, hey, I'm looking at where I want to go in my current position, and wanted to come and just help me get some perspective. So it was really nice to be able to be considered someone wise enough to be able to share perspective and help someone kind of unpack where they are in their journey. But today I want to talk a little bit about emotions. Over the course of my career, I've gotten better at being aware when my emotions are going to be triggered to react and really just kind of get myself out of character. And because I don't feel like that's particularly productive to be out of character and be overly emotional at work. I feel like if I need to raise my voice, or if I need to be demonstrative in my presence, why? Why do I have to do that? I'm here, I'm a professional. We're here to get stuff done. And, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it in regular life. So why would I enjoy it at work? I like to ride on a scale of 1 to 10. I like to ride a good 6. Okay. I like to ride a good 6. And if there are things that are going on, I'd rather catch them at a level 3 or 4 and we're good. But if I have to go to a 8 or 9, or, Lord forbid, a 9 or 10, I mean, I can, but again, why? There was a pathway here. So when I have to go to those extremes, anything above an 8, I'm like, gosh, I don't need to be here, be in that emotion. So, but over my career, I've been able to notice that about myself and address it. So I'll share a couple quick stories. There was this moment where I was working at a college, and I had just taken on a new responsibility and did all my campaigning around to tell everybody about what was coming. And then in the meeting, someone I felt just didn't really want to accept the reality of where the thing was going. And there had already been consensus about it. And, so I had to match their energy. And I was like, oh my gosh, why? But sometimes you do that because it's the only language that people want to receive. But at that same school, I had a colleague. I think I talked about her before, Leslie. She did a really good job in another meeting where she saw me about to get reeled into this energy, and then she just tapped the table. She was the closest to me, I think, on my right. She just tapped the table. She's like, Chris, no. So it was cool that her and I had the right connection to where she could give me that signal and I could receive it. And I've tried to internalize those signals for myself moving forward. There was another time at another school where I felt like, our administrative group, didn't really respond to a group of students in truth based off of some agreements we had made with them about a year prior. And, that one, I had an involuntary reaction where I was just like, this is absolutely unacceptable. We will not be untruthful with kids. And really I was trying to call my leadership group into a dialogue about this and some accountability. And the room was silent. They just kind of were trying to survive the hour. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be in a room where we thought we were collaborative leaders and partners. And I learned a lot through that. So, the biggest takeaway is being able to control your emotions, because just because you're passionate and emotional about something does not mean that it's an effective way to communicate, does not mean that they particularly cared before or after your demonstration. And lastly, if it's not a wavelength you like to operate on, it's potentially just not healthy. So, and there are folks who live at a resting 7 or 8, and that's cool. I can rock with them too. I'm just all about consistency. But, some things this week reminded me of those moments. And, recently, yesterday, I felt like someone was able to pull something out of me that I don't enjoy. And, I've had to have a couple of those conversations where it's like, why is the only thing that is going to be received is this type of energy? And I don't particularly, like to facilitate communities in that way. But if you find yourself in those spaces, there's always a couple things you can do. You can reflect and, find a moment to just get back to your base. You can think about, okay, well, what were the takeaways from this? What are the things that I need to know? And is there anything that I know to be true? And then figure out what the next steps are to keep moving forward. People aren't to be discarded. Conversations aren't the end of things. They're usually the start of things, and you can be realigned. So if you get to a point where your emotions are getting the best of you, it's not the end of the world. It's a human thing, but there's still a day after, as I've said on other earlier episodes. So, but hopefully that's a little something for you on the way to school. Happy Friday. I'm headed up to Stanford for a conference and going to hang out with our school pod. So that's going to be absolutely fun. But hey, I'll see you on Monday on the way to school. Thanks for joining me on the way to school. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep making a difference. I'm Christopher S. Dennis. See you tomorrow.